Okay, so before we start anything, we're going to sanitize the bucket and anything else you're going to use in your wine. So I'm just going to do that right now. Okay, so we're going to make blueberry wine today. Basically what we're going to do is 4 pounds of grapes, 6 pints of blueberries, a pound of oranges, lemons, or in my case I'm using clementines, you just need some citrus, and 4 bananas, which is roughly about a pound. Okay, so first you're going to sanitize this bucket or your carboy really good, your water jug, whatever you're using. In here I have 4 pounds of frozen grapes. That's why they look like they're still in a bag. They're actually out of the bag. And I have 6 pints of blueberries, and I went ahead and put those in a bag and smushed them all up first, save myself some time. We also have a pound of bananas and a pound, I have clementines, but any oranges, lemons, anything like that will work. You just need the citrus. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to boil some water and we're going to add 10 pounds of sugar into that. And then you're going to cut up the 4 bananas, keep the ends and the stems off, and just put those into a pan, all 4 of them, just like that. And we're going to add some water and we're going to bring those to a boil. Okay, now you're just going to cut your oranges, clementines, or lemons, whatever you decided up. I'm going to use a little juicer to get the juice out first. That's got to be sterilized, and then I'm going to pour the juice into my pot here, and then I'm going to boil the rinds in with the bananas that are almost starting the sugar water. No sugar in it yet, it's just water. So that's what I'm going to do, and we'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, there's not a ton of juice, but we're going to go ahead and put that right in to my mix. And then those we're going to go ahead and throw in with the bananas. And you can cut them up. I'm just going to drop them right in. Doesn't really make a difference. You just want some more juice if anything is in them. And that's where we're at now. Okay, so I went ahead and just added 4 pounds of sugar to this water. And so far you can see how high it is in the pan. I might actually have to do this twice to add all the sugar because I don't think it's going to fit in this little pan. So we're just going to cook it until the water turns back to clear, and then we're going to dump it in our pail. Okay, so I got 4.5, so about 6 pounds of sugar in this pot right now. I'm going to wait till it clears, and then I'm going to dump it in the pail, and then I'll start up some more water for the other 4 pounds to dissolve, because they won't all fit in here without getting too close to the top, and I don't like to do that. So we're going to keep stirring this until it's dissolved and clear, and then we'll start up some more. As you can see, my banana and oranges, they're just starting to bubble now. You're going to wait until this turns to a boil, and then you're going to cook it for about 20 minutes just to get the juices out of the bananas and all the stuff you need out of it. You don't actually have to sterilize any of this because this is going to be boiled, so you're not going to, and nothing's going to be able to live in it. You could also freeze them if you wanted to skip the boiling step. It'll also help break them down. Just kind of keep pushing them down on the oranges to get any little juice left in there out. And that's all there is to that. Okay, so this one's starting to boil now. I'm going to set a timer for 25 minutes. You can probably leave it just for 20 minutes, but I'm going to do a little extra and do 25. So we're going to set that, and when it's done, I'm going to dump all of this into the bucket. Okay, this sugar solution is done. It's probably not going to clear up much more than that because there's 6 pounds of sugar in this little pan. So I'm going to go ahead and pour it over top of the grapes and be right back. Okay, so it's in there. If you don't have a food grade bucket or something that can handle the heat, don't go and pour that hot sugar into your glass. I don't recommend using a glass or a carboy of any kind if you're going to put all this fruit in there. It's going to be very hard to strain it out. I would advise a bucket. You can use one from Home Depot. Anything with a lid that you can put an airlock into, or even covering it with a towel for a week, you'll be fine with that. But as you can see, it's starting to melt all the ice that was in here from the frozen grapes. And as you can see, this stuff is simmering along nicely. We have 19 minutes left, so we'll be back. Oh, I'm going to start some more sugar water in here for the other 4 pounds, and by then it should be ready to dump in, so we'll be back. Okay, so this stuff is done for 25 minutes. It's been boiling, and as you can see, it's like a soupy mess now. The bananas are all out of the skins. The oranges have, you know, filled up with juice, and I've been pushing them down and squishing them, so that's that. And there's the other 4 pounds of sugar, both ready to go in the bucket. Okay, so as you can see, this is the must that we, oh, there's still a chunk here. This is the must, and this is gonna sit for 7 days, maybe 5, depending on how it keeps bubbling in the airlock. As you can see, it's got all the bananas, the oranges, the grapes, and the blueberries are all still in there. Now, this, where's my line? Where is the line? Okay, sorry. Here's my gallons. As you can see, there's 1, 2, almost 3 gallons in this one, and I need to bring it probably up to about 6 to include the fruit, so I don't get all that in my wine, and I'm trying to make 5 gallons, so that's just what I'm going to do. You can boil it, you can use bottled water. I'm just going to use tap water because I'm not really that worried about it. So we'll be back when it's full. Okay, now this is filled up to the 6 gallon mark. We're just going to let this cool down because it's too hot. There's still some ice chunks in it, so you can't add the yeast until it is completely room temperature. You need it, you know, between, I don't know, try and keep it around 75. Don't go any lower than, you know, 60s, no higher than probably, you know, 85. But we're going to leave that for a little while, probably for the rest of the day, and I'll do it before bed. But this is just going to sit in this bucket with the airlock and the lid on for, like I said, 7 days. We're going to stir it every day, but I'll show you what happens when you add the yeast. I'll be back. Okay, so this is just some juice out of my must. This is a sterilized container. I used the Star San, same as I was doing for the rest. The must is, it's cool enough to add this now, so I took some juice out because yeast tends to do a little better if there's sugar in there. So I'm going to use the Lalvin EC1118. Basically, you just pour that in to your juice. And again, sterilized spoon. I can't see what I'm doing. And we're just going to stir it a little. You don't really have to stir it. I just do because I want to get it all up in there. Make it all activate right from the start. So and then you set a timer and you leave it for 15 minutes. So we're going to come back throughout the 15 minutes and show you what the difference. Right here is just mixed in. So we'll be back in maybe 5 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. As you can see, it's very, very different than when you started. We got about, like I said, there's 10 minutes left. So we'll be back in a few. Okay, so there's about 5 minutes left. As you can see, most of it is raised to the top, and there's like a foam on top. That's how you know it's going to work. Usually it's not pink. It's only pink because I used the red juice. Usually you're just going to see white foam at the top, but that's why it's pink. So we'll be back in 5 minutes when I dump it in. Okay, so it's a lot higher now. It's been 15 minutes, so we're just going to... where'd my spoon go? Spoon, sanitize it. Okay, we're just going to stir it up. You can see it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it works. Stir it good, get all the stuff off the side. You don't want to waste any of that. Okay, so we're going to bring it over here. That's going to be tomorrow's wine. I'm going to make some Tropical Monkey with pineapples and bananas. So that should be quite interesting. So what we're basically going to do is just pour this yeast in. Since this was sanitized, it's okay if I dip it in there. And we're just going to stir. And now you've officially changed it from just a juice punch to it's going to be wine now. So now we're going to, it's not going to do anything for probably a good 24 hours, but get all down to the bottom, make sure it's all stirred up. As you can see, that color is already starting to turn purple. And that's it. We're going to leave that, like I said, for 5 to 7 days, depending on how the bubbles work through the airlock. We're just going to put this down here. Thank you. And as you can see, my airlock is on in the hole. I got some stuff on the lid. I'm going to have to wipe that off so I don't attract bugs. We're just going to seal it down all the way around, tight as possible, so you get nothing. And is it going to already start? As you can see, it's already going. So you're going to see that for, it's going to get really good going tomorrow. This is just a little bit of the bubbles and the CO2 working. You don't want to seal this off with no hole or towel or something on it, because you're basically going to get an explosion. Yeast is going to make, it's going to make CO2 gas, and you're going to have to get that out of there somehow, which is the byproduct of what happens when you're making alcohol. So yeah, we're just going to let this sit here for a while, and starting to bubble already. Look at that. Yeah, we're going to stir it every day, so I'll check back throughout the week, and then we're going to put it in a carboy, and I'll show you how to do that. So stay tuned for part 2. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I did check the reading for sugar with my hydrometer. It was at 1.090, which is going to give me about 11 or 12% alcohol, which is plenty for this wine. So I don't see any problems from here on out, and stay tuned for part 2. Thank you.